My name is Arvind Singhal. I'm a professor of communication at the University of Texas at El Paso, and I'm deeply passionate about the power of stories to engage, inspire, and educate. I have spent 37 years toiling in a field called entertainment education, the subject matter of this particular panel. I believe strongly through research that I've done that entertainment media and stories can address hate and can promote deep understanding between people. 3 years ago, in my beloved border city of El Paso, you see it behind my image, at a Walmart, 22 people were mercilessly gunned down. The perpetrator was a young, misguided 21-year-old man, a white nationalist and an anti-immigrant. Today, in the parking lot of the same Walmart stands the Grand Candela, 22 columns of perforated metal, one for each life lost. The luminous candle-like structure rises 30 feet, high enough to be seen by the impacted community residing on both sides of the border. So on the site of hate and mayhem, the Grand Candela is a symbol of healing and remembrance, a solemn tribute to the victims, a beacon of hope for the survivors, and a reminder to all of us who live in El Paso that the city is strong, resilient, and can indeed transcend hate. Now, stories and symbols can help focus our attention in remarkable ways. They can speak to us in a visceral way. They can help shake our cherished attitudes and beliefs and perhaps even change our behavior. Let me share a personal story. When I was 16 years old, I began a correspondence relationship with Mother Teresa. And I began to follow her life, and I was deeply inspired by stories that I collected about her. My favorite story about Mother Teresa is when she was asked, when she was in Washington, D.C., if she would march against the Vietnam War. There was a long pause, and her response was, "Plan a march for peace, and I will be the first to lead." In the midst of an anti-war march, Mother Teresa transported us to a possibility that focuses on peace. Now, I want us to pause and reflect on this story, especially as we are here to talk about the role of storytelling for promoting anti-hate. We can certainly do so, but we should also ask, what is the role of storytelling? What is the role of entertainment media? To not just focus on anti-hate, but to be purposely be for love, for compassion, forgiveness, restoration, healing. And only stories can teach us not just to tolerate differences, but rather to celebrate them. Otto Skama, my favorite action researcher at MIT, notes that we grow in the directions of the questions we ask. The questions we ask and the stories we choose to tell can break the bounds of entrenched rationalities, thereby creating pathways for transformation. A case in point is my friend Azim Khamisa. In 1995, Azim's only son Tariq, a 20-year-old college student, was killed by a young gang member. Believing that there were victims on both ends of the gun, Azim proactively reached out for forgiveness to Tony's grandfather to begin, Tony being the gang member, who killed his son, to begin the process of healing. And together they established the Tariq Khamisa Foundation. Its goal to stop youth violence through education, mentorship, and community service programs. I tell you these stories for they engage us, inspire us to possibly realize what Abe Lincoln called the better angels of our nature. And such stories can be scaled through the pages of a book. That's the reason why literature is important. Through the air on radio and television, or through a personal digital screen. And these stories can go beyond real life, as long as they are sensitively authored, culturally resonant, factually correct, and can transport readers to places they have not been. Many of us have seen the film Gandhi, won 11 Oscar awards, including Best Film, Best Actor, Best Director. There's a deeply poignant scene toward the end of the movie. During the partition of India, 1947, as the Hindu-Muslim riots broke out in West Bengal, Gandhi goes on a fast unto death to atone for the hate being exemplified by his fellow countrymen. While Gandhi is lying weak from his fast, a Hindu man comes to him and says, "I am going to hell." Gandhi asks why. "I killed a child," he says. "I smashed its head against the wall. They killed my son. The Muslims killed my son. I am going to hell." Gandhi says, "I know a way out of hell. Find a child whose mother and father have been killed and raise that child as your own. Only be sure he's a Muslim and you raise him as your own." That is the power of stories, whether on screen or whether we consume them in other ways. That is the power of entertainment. That is the power of entertainment to educate, inspire, and enlighten. Please have a wonderful panel.